With spring just around the corner, what better way to bring some color back into your wardrobe than a useful accessory like a scrunchie? This project is so quick and easy that we've got 3 different ways to make a scrunchie for all tastes and styles. That's enough of those pretty shots. Let's get to stitching. You're going to need to pick out your favorite fabric. Cut a long rectangular strip at 21.5 by 3 inches or 54 centimeters by 8 centimeters, and that's it. We're going to be sewing with our 40 weight all-purpose polyester thread called Designer. It's a perfect option for a scrunchie because it's durable enough to last in even the most unruly hair types. With a maximum stitch strength of 50 pounds per inch, there's no way those seams will break. Because it's polyester, durable, and reliable, it will last through the wash time and time again. We're going to use DecoBob in our bobbin. DecoBob is an 80 weight cottonized polyester, and it will match the durability of Designer without adding any additional bulk to the seams. Next, you'll need a hair elastic. Nothing fancy, just a regular old hair elastic. Let's get to crafting up your new favorite scrunchie. Fold your rectangle in half, right sides together, and sew along the long edge using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Halfway down, backstitch and leave a 1.5 inch gap to turn it right side out later. Pick up sewing again, remembering to backstitch 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters away from where you left off. Sew to the end, backstitching at the edge, and snip your thread. Attach some extra thread to the end of a safety pin and push it through your fabric tube. Attach the safety pin to the end of your fabric tube and pull it through the middle. Your fabric should shrink to half its original size. Going slowly, stitch the ends together. Because this will be a small, tight area to get into, make sure to take your time and ensure that the fabric is aligning properly, so that you don't have any messy, bumpy, or missed stitches along your seam. Once that's finished, you can turn your fabric right side out and get ready to assemble your scrunchie. Snip the hair elastic in half, attaching a safety pin to one end. Run the elastic through the scrunchie fabric, making sure to hold on to the other end so it doesn't get lost. Now, using a hand needle and soft lock, a Tex 35 woolly poly thread, stitch back and forth through the elastic going all the way around so that it's secure and sure not to come apart. Soft lock is the perfect thread for this because it's strong enough to hold the elastic together, and because it's got a lot of stretch, it's perfect for moving with the elastic and it won't tear through it when it's being pulled on. Using Designer again and an invisible stitch, pull the needle through the wrong side of the fabric to hide the knot. Carefully hand stitch the opening. Tie off the thread at the end and snip the thread close to the knot to hide it. Now your scrunchie is finished. The best part about scrunchies is that the body of the scrunchie will always use the same steps, with just slightly different sizes of fabric. For the scrunchie with a bow, you can simply tie the bow for a little extra flair and take it off when you're looking for a more simple look. To make the bow, use the free pattern linked in the description box below this video. Trace the pattern onto your fabric using chalk or a fabric marker, or pin it down to your fabric. Carefully cut out the pattern. Fold the fabric in half long ways, right sides together, and pin it at the point where the curve stops right before the straight middle edge. This will mark your stop point to leave a 1.5 inch gap or a 4 centimeter gap to turn it out later. Sew along the edge of the fabric with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, making sure to backstitch at the beginning and end of your stitches. As we mentioned, stop sewing where you left your pins, backstitch, and trim your thread. Pick up sewing at your second pin, backstitching and going all the way to the other edge. Turn your bow right side out. Give it a quick press and use a ladder or invisible stitch with designer to close the gap you left. Now you can tie your bow to your scrunchie. This scrunchie style has taken the internet by storm. It's a great statement accessory for those times when you need a little extra but don't want to drown in too many. For the oversized scrunchie, you'll be using the same instructions as the regular scrunchie from earlier. Just adjust the size of the fabric rectangle you cut out. Cut your fabric at 22 inches by 4.5 inches, or 56 centimeters by 12 centimeters. Follow the same instructions, sewing along the long edge, leaving a 1.5 inch or 4 centimeter gap to turn right sides out later. Pulling it through the center, stitching the short edges together, turn it out, pull the hair elastic through, and stitch it together with soft lock. Close up the gap with designer and an invisible stitch. And there you have it, a perfectly oversized scrunchie for that extra touch of wow factor. Now that you're all ready and accessorized for spring, we can only imagine the other ideas you've got coming up for new projects. Let us know in the comments section if you plan on making these scrunchies, or ask any questions you might have. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more great tips, tricks, and tutorials. You can also sign up for our newsletter by following the link in the description box below. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next time!